is it rolling now?
Yeah, we're rolling
Okay.
right away. Everything was rolling before you got here.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. So we were supposed to do this like 2 weeks ago, but I got sick. I got the coronavirus.
Yeah. Did you get it or?
Yeah.
Okay, so you get it too.
I mean,
I got it.
I didn't test myself because they're
Mm.
not testing. They're only testing like nurses and stuff like that. But since
Alright.
my girlfriend works as at a nursing home, and they tested her like
Mm.
4 times already, so it's like, yeah.
But did she get sick? Because I remember I was here. Then
Yeah.
the day after you said she was sick, but
Yeah.
she was here and she wasn't sick.
Yeah, but remember she was like sneezing in the room, and I was like kidding with her. I was like, "Oh, you have the corona, you have the corona." And the next day they tested her at work, and she had it.
Okay.
So hopefully you didn't get it. But
I think I already had it.
you already had it. When?
Yeah. It was before it like I did.
Like-
It was before I knew what it was.
Like in January or something.
Yeah, in February, in the beginning of the February.
They said today on the news that they think they had like early like cases even in November. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I was traveling from Florida
Yeah.
in like 2 days before New Year's or something. So
Yeah. So what were your symptoms?
first I had a very high fever. I haven't been sick for 10 years before that.
Yeah.
So I had a very high fever, like really high, but I felt good. I
How high? Like in the 40s?
Yeah, 41 I think
Oh,
in
that's-
Celsius. Yeah,
that's a lot.
but maybe I'm weird because I like having fever. I think it feels good.
You get the chill.
Yeah, I get to chill, and also I'm in a state that I kind of like. It's like between being awake and dreamy state, and I
Mm.
get these like visions and stuff. So
Yeah.
even when I was a kid, I liked having a fever.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me, but then after a few days, I get like my throat started to hurt, and
Yeah. That's
my
not
nose was like totally clogged, and that was not fun. But then I got better after a few days,
fun. Yeah.
and I went out, I went and worked and everything, and a few times I felt really dizzy.
Hmm.
But then I got sick again, and then after that, I had to. I could be sitting or standing for maybe 20 minutes to half an hour. Then I had to lie down.
I would just sorry, I had to check the cameras.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have to
So
check them too because
so that you're in the shot.
yeah, yeah. So after that, I was even more sick.
Yeah. So you were sick for a few days first, and then you got better, and then you got even sicker the second time.
Yeah, I didn't have a fever, but I didn't have any energy. So
How
if I-
about your lungs? Do you feel?
I didn't feel any pain, but it was like sometimes I had to lie down, and because I didn't have any energy in my
Yeah.
lungs. It was like
Yeah.
heavy to breathe.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think this virus is really, really weird. Like most people, like my girlfriend, she didn't get anything. She got a headache for 3 days. That was it. Nothing else. And for me, it started like 3 weeks ago. I felt something in my lungs. I felt something was like some kind of like itch or whatever you call it.
Okay.
And but I didn't get sick either. And then after she got sick, or after she got tested and we knew she had it, I started getting like this really weird symptoms. Like I felt like I had a fever, but it didn't. And my face started like burning up. I felt like it was like on fire for like maybe 2 hours, and then it went away. And then my throat hurt, same as you. But that happened for like 1 day or something like that, and then it disappeared again.
Yeah.
And then it came back and disappeared and came back and disappeared. I think that a lot of people are saying that it comes by, goes and comes. It goes.
Yeah, it was like that for me. So I was sick for more than 1 month, and I have like never been sick for that long.
Yeah.
But it was like that. It came and went. Even during one day, I could feel really good, and then I felt bad, and yeah, I had this like tiredness in my lungs. I had to lie down, and I got some pain in my muscles.
Mm.
Like, also now I'm still stiff. Like I have a little bit harder to bend down, and also it comes and goes. I can be really soft in the body, then I become really stiff, then it goes away. So it comes and goes still.
Yeah, I read somewhere that they're actually saying that people got some like um, issues with the arms and legs, like not working properly, and I've been having that because of other stuff. So I don't know if that's like not helping or making it worse, but I heard it like it attacks your body in a really really weird way. But I mean, I can't complain. Like I could barely feel it. It was like the phase thing, like for a few hours, and then it disappeared, and then it came back a few days later. I've been going out. Like we are in Sweden, and here's like no quarantine like that. So
Yeah.
I've been like walking in the forest with my girlfriend, like breathing fresh air, like staying away from everybody, of course. But uh, I can complain. So it's crazy that some people it kills people.
Yeah.
Like in only a few days they get it, and then a few days later they're gone. It's like
Maybe it has to do also with fear, because
Fear?
when you're scared, like the immune system shuts down,
yeah.
and yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't like talk about corona with anyone, but after a while my girlfriend said like, I think you have corona, and the other friends and everybody in my family and around me said like, you have all the symptoms, maybe you have it, but we didn't want to scare you or anything. And I was also thinking the same time after a while, maybe I have this, but I didn't want to say anything to anyone. But no, for me it was like a chill experience, even though I was like sick for a month. I liked it.
Yeah. We like the corona.
Pro corona.
We are pro corona. Yeah, no. But so what are your thoughts on the corona overall, like how the world has been handling it? Like I mean, we are in Sweden, and Sweden is on the radar for like every news outlet out there talking about how Sweden is been handling it. What do you think?
I'm very chill about it.
You don't care?
It's not that I don't care, but I mean,
You're not worried.
I'm not worried, and I actually had this weird. I don't know how to explain it, but before I was sick, it was actually the day before I became sick. My girlfriend's daughter, she was sick, and I was in some kind of meditative state before I fell asleep, and I felt I had something. Actually, had been feeling for a couple of weeks that I had something from the trip to Florida. I felt I got something there, and so I was in this like.
So you think you got it in Florida, maybe?
I got something there. I felt I became sick. I was sick for one day, like like stomach sick.
Yeah.
And then.
Oh, I forgot to. Sorry to cut you off, but I forgot to say I had like a violent diarrhea also. So I got that, and that's one of the symptoms. And I got that for 3 days, and then it disappeared, and came back, and then it came, and then it disappeared, and then came back for a third time.
Okay.
So you felt in your stomach too?
Yeah, when I was in Florida. So, but it felt like
food poisoning or something like that.
I don't know. Maybe it was, but I became well, but there was something left. I didn't feel completely well, so I had that feeling, and then in my kind of meditative state, I got this like. I could sense that I had something in me, and I was speaking to it. It was like half awake and half asleep, and I could sense there was big fear in it, and I also got like an intuition to not be scared of it, and I felt something is gonna happen. People are gonna get scared, but I felt this strong intuition to not be scared, just be outside of it.
Was this even before?
Yeah, before I had like even heard of the name.
Mm.
So that was like an intuition I got, and
Yeah.
so maybe that's also why I've been
Yeah, and
kind of outside of it.
yeah, and it's so true about the fear thing, how it affects us in so many ways. I mean, we know about the fight or flight mode.
Fight or flight, yeah.
Fight or flight mode.
Or actually fight, flight, or freeze.
Yeah,
You might freeze also and become like totally.
So maybe you can because you know about this stuff a lot better than I do. But the way I understand it is like our system, when it's in fight or flight mode, it doesn't how to say heal the sick cells or whatever the
Yeah.
parts of your body that needs healing, because it's concentrated on like
Yeah.
surviving and some threat from outside that's immediate. So it needs to do that instead. But and if you are in that mode, like stressed or in that mode, then you can't heal.
Yeah, basically. And there's also like a degree. You can be a little bit stressed or very stressed. And stresses are like habits. It's like addictions. The cells need certain kind of chemicals. So some person might have like a pattern. They're stressed many times per day in a certain pattern. So it's like a degree. But if you're really, really stressed, like something is super urgent, the immune system will shut off, and all the blood and energy will go to the muscles and to the like senses, but it won't go as much to the organs, and even the cells like don't prioritize healing and like feeling good. They basically shut it off. So
they shut it off.
Yeah, so the immune system is like out when you're really stressed.
So, I mean, maybe that kind of thinking is like not the way most people think. It's like even though as soon as you go to the doctor, one of the first questions they ask you, whatever you have, is like, have you been stressed?
Yeah.
So it feels like they are, since they're asking that question, they are thinking about it and they know how it can affect you. So how come no one is talking about like this, all the media, the way they handle corona and scaring everybody? Why don't they add, what do you think they don't think about that aspect of it, like scaring everybody and how that affects everybody in a negative way?
Actually, there's a lot of people talking about it, the people that know about this. So maybe not the like mainstream media don't talk about it, and in the mainstream healthcare they don't talk so much about it. Maybe they will mention it, but they don't prescribe like chill out. They give you medicine and stuff. But there's a lot of science about this. Every day, I read somewhere that every day there's like 1,000 publications, scientific publications that's being released. So there's so much stuff coming out all the time.
So if people are interested in that, kind of stuff, where can they find information about it?
I mean, everywhere. I mean, YouTube and today it's like you're being shown what you're interested in. So I get all these kind of clips because I watch clips with interesting people like Bruce Lipton and stuff, and then I see similar things, and even in social media like Facebook, I have friends like that post articles and
Who's Bruce Lipton?
He's a scientist. He's like a cell biologist, I think. I'm not sure if it's called that, and he was one of the best in that field, and he was like working on some schools, teaching doctors and stuff. But then he made some discoveries about the DNA, and he had to stop that teaching and everything because he realized that what he teaches is not the truth. And what he discovered is like the DNA is basically you don't inherit sickness from your forefathers fathers. You like inherit emotional beliefs and patterns that create the sickness. So because if you basically what he says is if you change your beliefs you will change your DNA also. And there's other scientists also in Russia that confirms this. So when you change the way you believe about yourself and your health and the way you think and everything, the way you feel, you will also affect your DNA. So
He has actually a really good lecture or talk. I think people maybe should check it out, Google it, because he explains it really well. So
yeah,
you don't need to be a biologist or a
no,
scientist to understand it. He explains it in a very simple way,
yeah,
and it makes sense. I mean, it once you see it, it's like, yeah, okay. So the what he means is you you are not your DNA, so you don't have
yeah,
to like think this way. Like my mother had cancer, so I will get cancer,
yeah,
or my father had a heart attack, so I'm prone to have a heart attack too.
yeah.
Uh,
They can even take out the DNA from the cell and it will still like do all the functions. So we had like a belief that the DNA was kind of the brain of the cell, but it isn't. It's like the reproductive system. It's the balls of the cell
yeah,
that like reproduces.
yeah,
Uh, so we have there's like many options in the cells, and maybe there's like an options to become sick or anything like things like that. But
yeah,
the way we think determines what we will activate in the cells,
yeah.
and also the cells they listen to their environment, and it's like the hormones and the our thinking and everything. That's the environment for the cells.
So basically, what you're saying is the DNA is kind of like a bunch of different blueprints that can be whatever. It could be a house, it could be a computer, it could be, but in terms of biology. But then your beliefs change what parts of the DNA you use. So if you're uh, and so if how does it work? So if you're going around thinking I'm going to get sick, I'm going to get sick, I'm going to get sick, do you
Yeah,
get sick?
you might create that. It's like um, it's not actually what you think, but it's the way you feel. And if you feel things like that, think things like that, and you get scared and stressed, then you create sickness in your body. So uh, what you said about the house and everything, I'm not sure because I'm not an expert on this, but maybe something like that.
Me neither. So don't take it take it with a grain of salt
Yeah,
because
yeah, but basically, you can reshape your DNA. That's that. I mean, people evolve,
yeah,
so we have to be able to change it somehow.
yeah,
And it's not only random events in the world that changes our DNA. It's also when we change the level of our consciousness, we will also change our DNA.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I think that's the next step. And going back to the corona thing, I have it here in my computer. I'm checking. Like, I mean, I really try to like stay away from looking at the newspapers or the yeah now they're web based, but too much. But it's been kind of impossible because everybody's talking about it. Uh, but going back to Corona, COVID-19, people. So the narrative was like, this is really deadly. A lot of people will die. They were talking about like 5% of anyone who got it would die. So 5% is really high compared to the regular flu. Um, but I think those numbers are being really skewed. What do you think? Am
Yeah.
I overthinking this? Because I'm really like, I I I lean towards like conspiracy stuff like really quick once when I start like seeing stuff that doesn't add up. Like,
Yeah.
for instance, one thing is they were saying 5% was the mortality of the disease. So, and that was based on the reported cases of corona and the reported deaths. But there's so many people who never went to the doctor,
Yeah.
and that's most of the people, like you, like me. I never went to the doctor. I mean,
Yeah.
I think they registered me because I called in because I got like a rash
Mm.
around my neck, and I thought it had something to do with the corona. They said it didn't have anything to do with that, some kind of allergic reaction. And when I called, I told them that I was almost 100% sure I had it because my girlfriend had it for a couple of weeks. Um, so a lot of people didn't go to the doctor, and and still like they're giving us all these numbers about how many died today, how many
Yeah.
died yesterday, and like, what's the point of all of that? It's like,
Yeah. I mean, I read somewhere that every 30 seconds somebody dies from heart disease in America.
yeah,
And what if they would report that every day?
yeah,
Like people would get scared.
yeah. People will freak out.
Yeah.
Like they will stop eating the way they eat now, and they will start working out and running and.
Yeah.
But
I
so,
mean,
what do you think is behind it then?
I mean, if they scare people.
Yeah,
I mean, it could be they will earn a lot of money from the medicines, like vaccinations, and there's like many different theories, like what people call conspiracy theories. I don't like calling it that, but it's because it's kind of like belittling what they are saying. But some people think it's like forced vaccinations that they're trying to push, and the other day I tried to explain this word for you. In Swedish, it's hegemony. I think it's
Yeah.
like hegemony in English. It means, I think it means like basically, if somebody oppresses somebody, they will get the oppressed to oppress themselves. And like now it's like people will fight for getting vaccines, and what I heard, they put like mercury in it and aluminum, and they have all these satellites with 5G and everything, and they can radiate us with something.
Yeah.
I
So
don't know.
now you're more into conspiracy stuff than I am.
I mean, this is what I hear.
Yeah.
And as I said before, this intuition that I got, I also knew that there would be like different sides,
Yeah.
and everybody will be scared. I don't mean everybody, but
Most people maybe.
yeah, many people will be scared. Some people will be afraid of this corona. Some people will be afraid of the vaccination and all these kind of things. But yeah, I think it's also like mainstream media tries to belittle the conspiracy theories and everything. It's like back in the days when they were burning witches, everybody was thinking differently, where they were stupid and had to die. It's I get that vibe here also.
Yeah. But do you think, because I feel like there's a lot of stupidity going on, like the way people not doing the math, like not understanding that the numbers are not adding up to what they're saying. That should be one red flag to relax a little bit, because I've been trying to tell people, relax. It's not that bad. It's bad. It's a serious illness. It kills people. We need to be careful. I think the way Sweden has been handling it, where we live here in Sweden, I actually think is really good compared to other countries. They could have done some things a little bit better. For instance, I think they could have tested more. They should have tested. If you wanted to get tested, you should, because like if your parents are older and you wanna like don't scare them or whatever, you should be able to go and test yourself. That's one thing that I think Sweden did wrong. Could have been done a lot better. And the other thing is, it's mainly that thing, like testing. But other than that, they're saying that once 60% of the population gets it,
Okay.
flock immunity.
Yeah, I get it.
What
Flock immunity. If you.
Yeah, maybe that's the word. I don't know. But if that's it, once 60% of the population gets it, then then you're immune to it. Then you won't transmit it to anyone else, and that will stop it, right? Because if I can get sick, if you're sick and I hang out with you and I can't get sick, then it will never move on to other people. So I think the way Sweden has been dealing with it, like slowing it down as much as possible, but not stopping it. I think some countries have stopped it completely, but I don't think that will help them, because they will have to like keep doing that forever.
Yeah.
Right. So what you want is it's the people to like be immune to it.
Yeah, that's true.
Or have some resistance to it.
Yeah, about these vaccines from the beginning, like what vaccines were in the beginning. It was like people were sick. I don't remember what the sickness was, but they got like this what do you call it, like
warts
or something. And they scraped on healthy people. Scraped with something. They took that stuff and put it in. So you get that bacteria or virus. There were no chemicals, there were no mercury, no stuff like that. You just got like exposed to it, and then you build the immune system. So maybe that's good.
And I think that's kind of like one of the, I mean, I know nothing about this stuff. I'm talking out of my ass, but for what from what I'm reading, it's like one of the ways they are trying to create a vaccine is that it's using the antibodies from someone else who already created some kind of defense against the virus, and I guess they create a vaccine from that to put that into someone else. I don't know how it works, and like I said, I know nothing about the vaccines. I know a lot of people like Sweden here in Sweden. They're working on some versions of it. I think I read I think it was Israel. I read yesterday had something, or it was today maybe, had something really promising, and but I think the vaccine should like be like the last resort. I think we shouldn't go for that. I think we should keep the people that's in the risk groups, or what do you call them? The people that could die from it. We should keep them safe as much as possible and let the rest of us just get it. We should just get it, and we are the vaccine. Let's not.
We are the vaccine. We are the vaccine.
We are the vaccine. But it's true. I think that's the only way.
You said now. You said like, I don't know anything about vaccines. You said that twice. I actually believe you do know things with your intuition. I don't think we should like just allow the experts to know everything. And I mean, some people belittle intuition and say that's just bullshit. But if you only rely on facts, then if the source is corrupt, your whole premise will be corrupt. Everything you build from that will be corrupted. So you also have to have an intuition. And maybe not follow your intuition blindly, For me, when I get an intuition, it's like a hunch. It's not anything that's absolute. It's like, maybe I get a feeling, maybe I have a dream or something. Then the pieces of information will come and build an understanding about something.
Yeah, yeah, and you're right. I think the thing is there are a lot of papers out there that one could read if you want to know about vaccines and what they do to you and how they work, and I'm sure there are a lot of them that are really good and people really need, or they have maybe prevented some really scary stuff happening. Um, but the way I see it is, as soon as a company will get a lot of money from something,
Yeah.
I get kind of like defensive. I get kind of like,
Imagine the one that gets to do the vaccine for this. They
yeah,
will be the richest people in the world.
yeah, yeah, for sure. If people
Yeah. I mean, if the plan.
go along with it,
Yeah.
I hope once it comes, it's like people have settled down a little bit. They are not buying all the nonsense anymore. But at the same time, I understand people are scared. Like, you don't want to lose your loved ones, and you I mean, if someone in your family is one of the on those here in Sweden they call them the riskgrupper.
The risk group or the risk zone.
Yeah, in the risk zone. Some people are in the risk zone, and what they've been saying, they've been saying is like high blood pressure or diabetics, or what else? I don't remember. Or if you've been like battling cancer or just had a treatment against cancer or something like that, then and some people's immune systems are damaged for different reasons.
Yeah.
So I understand that it's needed, but I don't think it's a solution that should be used for everybody. That's the way I see it.
And also, people react different in a different way to the vaccine. Do you remember that? I don't know if it was called the swine flu in English, but in Swedish it was the swine flu.
Yeah, it was called the swine flu.
Okay, that was like 2009.
Yeah.
And they made like a vaccine for it. They made it here in Sweden, and they didn't even test it properly, and a lot of people got really sick. I know a person, she got narcolepsy. Do you know what it is?
Yeah, narcolepsy isn't it when I don't know exactly what it is, but the way I've seen it is when they get like some strong emotion, their body shuts down.
Yeah.
Somehow they lose.
Yeah, when she gets like excited,
yeah,
she just falls,
collapse. But she's awake, right? So she doesn't pass out.
Yeah,
or
I think so. I'm not completely sure, but
yeah,
they didn't even test it, and it was a lot of people that got that.
Yeah,
a lot of young children. They also got like some other issues.
Yeah,
but we don't talk about that.
No. And now the vaccine for this one. I mean, since everybody's in a hurry, then
yeah. Also one thing, like Bill Gates, his vaccines in India, you know that it killed like thousands of persons and crippled like really, really many people. And the country, India, is suing Bill Gates. This has been going on for many years. But we don't talk about that. He's like killed thousands of people with his vaccines.
No, I didn't hear about it at all. I mean,
this is not a conspiracy. This is like...
It's going on for it.
It's for real. Yeah, the country of India is suing him.
Yeah, so people can look it up. No, I never heard about that. I mean, the only thing I hear about Bill Gates, I mean, I heard a lot of positive things and some negative things.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if money is his motivation. I feel like someone that rich shouldn't have money as a motivation anymore. But I don't know how people, how the mind works. People like that. If
Maybe
this
not
never
money, maybe control.
power control. Yeah.
I'm thinking like if you look back at history, there's been like nations like the Roman Empire and a bunch of other empires, and they want to conquer. They wanted to conquer the whole world, and we have grown up watching movies like James Bond or something is always a bad guy that wants to conquer the world. Maybe there's something like that.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Or do you think like when people like that, like let's say someone like Bill Gates or someone like that, uh, do you think their motives maybe are like they think they're doing good? Because
Yeah.
I feel like they think they're doing good, and
Yeah.
maybe they're really trying to do good,
Yeah.
but uh,
Definitely. I mean, there's people that thinks like they thinking about the greater good. They think there has to be sacrifice. Maybe they want to like erase people for the greater good and stuff like that.
oh, you mean like kill a lot of people because it's better for
Yeah, I mean
well,
there's people thinking like that.
yeah,
And so yeah, even people that we think are doing really bad things, they actually think they're doing good things. Like Hitler, he thought he was doing something good.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. But what for someone like Bill Gates, the problem is for me is like some of the stuff he's doing, like trying to create vaccines.
Hmm.
That's the aim of creating vaccines, unless it's only for the money, it's to save people from getting sick. If he's building, I don't know, helping organizations to get water to areas where there's no
Hmm.
water, or that's the kind of stuff that I hear he's doing.
Yeah.
I'm not. So that that's why it's conflicting for me. Like,
Yeah.
why would he be doing something that will like kill a bunch of people, or just to sell vaccines, or it doesn't really make sense if he's doing all this other stuff. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's really strange. Conspiracies, they're interesting, but I don't. And like I said, what is he gonna get from that? Like at his age, he has a few more years, and
Yeah.
then and
I don't know. As you said, like this with conspiracies, and I'm not like I wouldn't say I'm like only on the conspiracy side on or only on the other side. Um,
from case to case, maybe.
yeah, but maybe they're working together. Like if you're gonna look at um, like how the talk is this, like these families they work together, and their goals they stretch for like thousands of years. They don't think about their own lifetime only. Like I watched a documentary about the Roman Empire and about the emperors and some like generals and stuff in the army. Their goals were several hundred years
Yeah.
in front of them, and
Hmm.
they were like, I was thinking, they won't even see the results of their goals, but they dedicate their life to it anyways.
Shouldn't we all do that, though?
Yeah, yeah, we should do that. I mean, like the Native Americans say, um, at least some of them said like think 7 generations
Yeah.
with everything you do.
Because I feel like nowadays we're all in our little bubble. We live for 80 years, 90 years, whatever it is now, and we're barely thinking about 2 generations ahead. Not
I
even
actually
that.
do.
You do, but
Yeah.
most people are like, yeah, I want my kids to have a better life
Mhm.
than I had, maybe. But other than that, it's
Mm.
like, also maybe because it's so hard right now. It's like everything is changing so fast, and nothing, it feels like nothing we do I mean, a lot of things could work long term, but I feel like guiding our our kids or the young people in different paths is really difficult right now because um, everything is changing so fast. It's like I used to tell my son, don't spend that much time gaming, for instance. That's a
Mm.
simple example. And then, like, gamers now can earn
Yeah, they can
so
buy
much money.
like houses in Hollywood.
That's what I mean. So, and that's only in like 10 years,
Yeah,
something like that. So, whatever they're getting to taught in school
yeah,
won't help them at all
no,
in 10 years. So, that's mainly why I think it's hard to think generations ahead or even two generations ahead.
yeah. I mean, about school, as you said, we don't know. Nobody knows what's gonna happen in 50 years, so we cannot really prepare them for that. But what we can do, we can teach them about themselves, how to be creative, how you function, how your mind functions, how you start and finish a project, how you feel good, how you learn about yourself. And if I think back to school, if I knew better, I would quit school earlier. So, but what I wish I did was to create better habits.
When did you quit?
I didn't quit. I mean, I, w- I went through
The
in
whole,
Swedish they have a gymnasium, yeah,
yeah.
and
I didn't even do that.
yeah, I know, and that's been an inspiration for me because you're the guy that I know that's like you're the most powerful dude that I know. You get things
Powerful.
done. You get things done. You like take risks. You're great.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank
You
you.
earn more money than all the others that I know that went to school also.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but I think it's yeah, and I don't know, man. Now I'm blushing, but yeah, and you're an inspiration for me. Like I always, you know this. Like we haven't even introduced ourselves
No, no.
really, but this is our first. We've been talking about doing this for a few weeks, and then we couldn't do it because I got the corona, and and we've been friends for a long time. Even though last 10 years maybe we haven't hang out that much, but we used to make music together
Yeah,
a long time ago. We were like a producer duo, you would
yeah,
say. We would like write songs for people, and then I went more towards film and been directing, and you continued with music and also been working with other aspect of like self improvement and
yeah,
how would you explain what you've been doing?
yeah. Yeah. First it was the music, and then I went into the health business, like mental health and also physical health. And now I'm into programming.
Mm.
So it doesn't mean that I've quit music or the health thing. I'm just expanding.
Yeah,
I just feel that I need to go. I need to do that.
yeah,
So that's why I do it.
yeah, and going back to the like quitting school early. I mean,
You were making money. You were making a living when the other kids were like kids.
yeah, and I also had kids
Yeah, you
really
had
early,
kids. Yeah,
so I had no choice really. I had to like get working, and
yeah.
I've
And you
been
didn't have family here or anything, so you had
yeah,
to
yeah. So
work.
my parents were in Uruguay, so I couldn't. They came later, but when we started working, we were making music. I had like I had nothing. So yeah, I mean I've been driven in that way,
Yeah,
always trying to do stuff, and I feel like you too. You've
yeah,
been doing. I mean, the stuff that you have done I don't feel you ever stood still, even though we
No,
haven't kept contact
no, no,
that much. I feel like you haven't stood still like for a minute.
no,
The only thing, maybe money was not your motivation,
no.
anyways.
I had this like when we were working. We were working like crazy people,
Yeah,
uh, like 16 to
yeah,
18 hours every day. You did it for a year. Maybe you didn't work for 2 days. For me, maybe like 7 days or something. We
yeah,
worked all the time.
all the time.
And then after that, I had a period where I was like more into meditation and walking in the nature, and I wasn't as active in working. I mean, working
Yeah,
on that plane. I
yeah,
was working on the other plane, learning stuff about myself. It's because it's not something that I chose mentally. I had some kind of awakenings
yeah,
that those awakenings are still like the guiding star for me.
yeah.
They were so strong, and it shifted my reality so much. So I had to change.
I mean, and I feel like you always been a really chill guy, always been like really. I don't feel like you've been like how do you say, you've been really chill, always like kind of like in tune with yourself and trying to like. I remember when we used to make music, you would say like we should after 55 minutes or 50 minutes we should chill for 5 to 10 minutes and relax our ears, and you had always had like your body,
Yeah,
yourself. You wanted to take care of our ears, our brains.
yeah,
Even then we were only like 20 something.
yeah,
uh, and I really, I saw the biggest shift. I think it was kind of like, you tell me, it was not a shift, it was you getting more in tune with that side of
yeah.
yourself. I felt it happen around 2004, because in 2004 I moved to the Canary Islands, Tenerife, for a year. And when I came back, I saw this big, not a change, but you getting more in tune with
Yeah.
with that side of you.
Yeah,
The
it actually started 2003. I remember. I had this. It started that year. I had this. It's impossible to put words on it, but I could wake up in the night and I knew stuff about the universe, and I was like, I have to write this down, but I couldn't tell anything. And actually, yesterday I was listening to an audiobook about with Joe Dispenza, and he was telling he had this like experience, and he saw this watch, and he got this knowing that there's not a linear time, and I got this also 2003. I just wrote, the only thing I wrote down was there's no time, but I just understood it, but I couldn't like get it. Then afterwards I've been hearing more about this. So in these 3 dimensions, time is linear, but otherwise it's like holistic in different
so
parallel.
how knowing there is no, how did that change you? Like is it like it removed the stress from having to do something, like, because I feel like I always been like, I need to achieve this before that, or I need to do this now, or
It was more like a mystery. It just moved me so much, and during the whole 2003, I got these awakening moments, and I started to read books and everything. And one time I was walking on an island in the ocean. I was walking. I was spending a summer there on that island, and I went down to the ocean. I dipped my toe into the water, and that moment I got like, yeah, now my toe is connected to all the seas in the world. Wow, cool. And then I got like, it was just some kind of knowledge that I was connected with the whole universe, not only with all this.
yeah.
And I felt like, wow, we like the whole universe like was an ocean of energy. So I got all these things 2003, and then 2005 I got a really really big experience. And the way I can describe it, it was like I was on some kind of drugs for 5 days. I could see different things in physical reality. And I wasn't alone, because if I were alone, I would think I
What's
was,
in your head?
yeah, that I was mad. But we were two. There was no drugs involved, and we both could see like different kind of lights. And I saw her face changing, like different phases in her face for 3 weeks. But for 5 days, I was like on LSD or something,
Hmm.
and there was no drugs involved. And then afterwards, I've been hearing more and more about.
What started that? What do you think? There was one thing that, or was just
It was it's been something all my life, but
those
for instance,
5 days?
when I was like a kid, the among the first thing I ever said to my mom was, "I'm not from here," and I can even remember where I were before I was born in my physical body, and it was only an ocean of light. I didn't remember that. I remembered it when I was a kid, then I forgot it, then it like reawakened within me again. So there's been many things all the time, but 2003 I got it more and more, and I think it's because we worked also, because we were creative, and the creativeness opened something
Yeah,
in the mind.
and maybe also because we were overworked.
Yeah.
It's like we were working with something really creative, like creating music, but at the same time we were working, like you said,
Yeah,
we
we
were
were working
working
our asses off.
non-stop all the
Yeah.
time, writing, like creating beats.
Yeah, and we were
meeting
really
with-
hard on ourselves.
Yeah,
But we haven't done anything, but we made more than 100 beats and like 30 finished songs,
yeah,
mixed masters in 1 year,
yeah,
and we thought that was bad, because we didn't write lyrics or sing, and we
Yeah.
didn't have like singers
Yeah.
all the time, so we were
Yeah.
pushing ourselves.
yeah. We pushed ourselves a lot, and I mean, that's something that I I always do. I think maybe I push myself too hard, and sometimes I think, what's the point of it? But yeah, that's something that I definitely do, and we did that year that I mean, it was 2002, 2003.
Yeah.
That was like, that was crazy. And also we got to work at a studio at night, because they used it during the day, so we
Yeah.
had to like
And
sleep.
living in Sweden, where there's like dark.
There's
24/7
already
winter.
almost no light, so
Yeah.
if you sleep during the day and you work during the night, then you will never see the sun, and
Yeah.
that kind of like messes you up in your head.
Yeah.
But listen, let me check. We've been going for not even an hour, so we can soon wrap this one up.
I just want to say one thing
Yeah.
about us working.
Yeah.
I feel that if we work, we can do anything. Like if we would want to build a rocket and go to the moon, I think we would pull it off.
Yeah, and
I feel that when I work with you.
I agree 100%. And I mean, we've been talking about doing stuff for a long time, and every time we meet, I feel like we've been talking about, should we do this, should we do that, because I think we are in tune in a lot of our ideas, or in the way we view stuff,
Yeah.
and we haven't found it yet, and I think we will find it soon, and maybe this podcast is the beginning of that. And I'm glad we started with it, because it's fun talking to you, so why not record it? It's a little bit weird doing it in English, because we have never spoken English before.
But I think it like flows well.
Yeah.
And also it's pretty cool. When we started to record, I just came here and you said let's sit down, and we started to talk.
Yeah.
We didn't like prepare anything. It was
No, and I didn't want to, like, I barely talked to you, because when you got in, I had the tea almost done, and I wanted you to just grab a tea and sit down. I didn't want to like ask anything. I wanted to start here. So I started recording before when I heard the ring on the door.
Yeah.
I started everything, and I mean, we covered a lot of stuff. This first pod, we talked about the Corona, COVID-19, and some conspiracies and vaccines and crazy stuff like that. And what do you think we're going to do with this pod? What's the plan long term?
I mean, I think we will talk about interesting stuff.
Interesting.
Maybe
stuff.
we'll find like a niche or something,
Yeah.
but we both are very creative, so we can talk about being creative, starting businesses, and life, and everything.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, there. I watch a lot of podcasts. Do you watch a lot of podcasts?
No, actually not. But I do listen to not so many podcasts, but I listen to like YouTube videos about different topics, and I listen to audiobooks, and I also read books, and I also, mostly audiobooks and not so much podcasts.
Not so much. Okay, because I do. I listen to a lot of podcasts. It's like I don't watch movies anymore. I don't watch a lot of Netflix or stuff like that anymore. I mostly watch podcasts.
Okay, yeah, that's better.
And the ones that I watch are mostly comedians because they have like this good level of information, fun, and it's entertainment in a more fluent way. And maybe that's something we can talk about later on, because you're a music producer and I'm a film director, so we're still working in creativity and creating stuff for creating content for everybody. So that could be an interesting one that we can do later on. But I think for this time, I think we're done.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody for watching, and stay tuned for the next one. Thank you.